Hi everybody, my name is Alex and I am a first year student at Tulane University's Pathologists Assistant program, and I wanted to wish everybody a happy PA day today under quarantine, but certainly circumstances that should be taken seriously. So one of the three things that I wanted to go over today was why I chose Pathologist Assistant and what I love so much about this program. And so I chose this because I always had a really deep connection towards anatomy, and I did really good in cellular and molecular biology in my undergraduate. And so when I found out that this is a career path that existed, it just seemed to really fit well. And what I love about our program at Tulane is it's really integrated to have other roles besides just grossing and doing autopsies. So we have a lot incorporated into learning about laboratory management, about biobanking, about teaching roles, about incorporating more of a preceptorship to other PAs or helping the residents. So it really is a culmination of a bunch of things and not just about just the gross anatomical part of this job. The second thing that I wanted to touch on was my future goals in this career. So because I have a background in biobanking, I used to manage a biobank for a cancer research center, and I was always involved with patients. I would love to incorporate Pathologist Assistant back into biobanking and also put some type of clinical research or clinical trial aspect into it and do some of my own research. I know that's very far away and it's not something that I don't think is normally paired with Pathologist Assistant, but I'd love to open up that field for other people who would be interested in incorporating more of a face-to-face patient interaction with Pathologist Assistant field. And then the third thing that I wanted to, give out is my favorite specimen. So for me, I think it would be a kidney. I saw a lot of kidneys whenever I was biobanking, and I think that they're just a very interesting specimen. It's kind of like a little present whenever you open it up to see if it's a lesion, if it's cystic, what's going on in there. And I also really liked renal physiology. So that's just a little bit about me. Again, my name is Alex, and I'm in the first year Tulane Pathologist Assistant program, and happy National PA Day. Go laboratory professionals.
Hey, I'm Mackenzie from Gonzales, Louisiana, and I am a member of the Pathologist Assistant program at Tulane University. I chose to be a pathologist assistant because I've always had a fascination with science and medicine, and as I went throughout school, I kind of found a fascination with anatomy and the human body and how everything works. So when I came across this career path, I knew it was the best path for me. I'm very excited to be able to sort of care for patients behind the scene and have such an important impact on patient care and patient diagnostics. So it's a really exciting career, and I can't wait to finish up this program and get started. And I chose Tulane because it's close to home, and I love the city of New Orleans. The culture and the environment are so unique and like nowhere else in this world. So it's awesome to be able to attend school here because that culture and environment transcends into the program, which makes it such an awesome environment to learn in. And I'm also so excited to be part of the first class and make history here at Tulane University.
Hi, I am Hayley, and I am one of the 10 in the first class of Tulane's Pathologist Assistant program, better known as the Tulane 10. So why did I choose PA? Going through school, I was always interested in medicine. I knew I would end up in the medical field somehow, but I always noticed that I was way more intrigued with the abnormal than the normal, and as terrible as cancer is, it's always just fascinated me what it can do to the body grossly and microscopically. So when I found out what this career was and that it was actually an option, I was sold immediately. I love that we work behind the scenes but still play such a critical role in the diagnostic process. I like that responsibility. I think that's really exciting. So why Tulane's program? I'm from Mississippi, so I'm from the South. I love the South. I want to stay in the South, and just the history and culture of New Orleans itself is like no other, and you'll see that at Tulane as well. But the program itself stuck out to me because it's really flexible and it's kind of personalized. In the fall, we get to take electives for whatever we're interested in. And then for our clinical rotations, our directors are going to work with us to see, what we're interested in and where they think we'll excel best at. And then I also like that we're the first class, so we kind of get to shape the way for the next classes, and it's really exciting to me. At this point, for my future, I'm not really sure. I really like the idea of travel PA, just seeing different clinics, how different places work, and to see different specimens all over the country. And then I'm also really interested in cancer research, so I'm just excited to get into clinical rotations and kind of find my niche. And then I'm also excited just to see where this profession goes. I think it's growing every day. People are finding out more and more about it. So I'm ready to see where it can go and happy to be a part of it. Bye.
Hey, happy PA Day, everyone. I'm Gabrielle Perry. A little background on me. I am from South Carolina, and I just relocated to New Orleans specifically for the new Pathologist Assistant program at Tulane, which I am honored to be part of. During my undergrad at College of Charleston, and while attempting to determine what career I wanted to pursue, becoming a pathologist assistant was never discussed with me by any of my advisors as an option for a career. I honestly doubt that they even knew it existed themselves. I was first exposed to a pathologist assistant after my grandfather was diagnosed with terminal colorectal cancer. I wanted to learn about every step that led to his diagnosis. A friend of my family was one of the pathologists actually that worked for the lab that handled my grandfather's specimen, so I asked if I could see the process that occurred for them to make a diagnosis. At the time, the extent of my knowledge of pathology was pretty naively what I saw on TV, so I mostly assumed that all pathologists did was perform autopsies. And the pathologist took me to the lab, told me that his day consisted of mainly looking at slides under the microscope. This is also when I discovered that pathologist assistants were the ones that handled the wet tissue and not the pathologist. I immediately knew that I had to pursue this career when I saw what a pathologist assistant was in charge of. I was lucky enough to be hired on in that lab for several years before I decided to pursue my certification, which is what led me here to Tulane. Being a pathologist assistant is the coolest job in the world. You never have the same day twice. Each day is just as exciting as the next. Personally, my favorite specimen is a gallbladder. No two gallbladders are the same. You never know what kind of stones or bile or mucosa you're going to have until you open it up, and I think that's fascinating and unique. The biggest factor that drew me to this program at Tulane is the way the curriculum is set up, especially the teaching practicum. I want to have an opportunity to teach and educate anyone I can, may that be residents or med students, future PA students, or just the general public. I'm intensely passionate about this field, and I want to tell everyone everywhere about what we as PAs do, how important our job is, and how they can get involved. We are the behind-the-scenes team that are working diligently with your loved one's specimens in order to help the pathologist make their diagnosis. Pathologist assistants handle anything that comes out of you or off of you in areas such as the OR, a doctor's office, any place like that. These are specimens that range from GI and skin biopsies to mastectomies or even whole organs like lungs and colons. Our job is to thoroughly dissect and section this tissue so that the proper disease, grading and staging, margin status, and patient prognosis can be established. If we don't do our job correctly, then the pathologist can't do their job correctly and the patient receives suboptimal care. So even though most people don't even know we exist, our niche in healthcare is just as important as the surgeon that's removing the tissue. I've actually heard it termed that the surgeon is the B Cop and pathology is the FBI. Time is the most valuable commodity that one can offer, and while practicing pathology, there's no other discipline wherein I wish to expend my time. And I find myself full of pride when people ask me what I'm in school for or what I do for work. I have absolutely found my niche in medicine. Also, I'm confident that Tulane was my correct institution of choice in which to pursue my degree, not only for the curriculum, but also the location. When I was telling people that I had been accepted into this program and I'd be moving to New Orleans, the general response was, oh, you're going to fall in love and never going to want to leave. And I think they were absolutely right. Every day in this city feels more like home. I am beyond thankful to have been given this opportunity to further my education, my career, and allow myself to be able to spread my passion about pathology and the importance of this field in regards to healthcare and how exciting it is to be a pathologist assistant.
Hi, my name is Taylor Harris. I'm a PA student here at Tulane University, and I am from Bloomington, Illinois. Before starting Pathologist Assistant School, I was a Mohs surgery histotech at a derm lab. And I wanted to become a PA because I love lab science, but I wanted to do it on a larger scale, and pathology combine the best parts of medicine in lab work and for as far as patient advocacy. A lot of the times in pathology we don't even get to meet the patients that we're working so hard for. So I think that's a true testament to patient care. I chose Tulane because when you think of a great medical education, especially in the South, Tulane is at the top of that list. And there's a spirit of resiliency here in New Orleans, and I think you really need that if you're gonna be successful in PA school, because it's hard. But so far it's been worth it. The best parts are my classmates. My cohort is amazing, and I've met some really good friends. Also, we've gotten to interact with other students, like other graduate students, some medical students, and we've even gotten the opportunity to influence some of the undergraduates who were still on the fence about their future career goals to give pathology a try and just encourage them to look into becoming a PA, because in my opinion, it's the best job in the world. I'm really excited for our future as PA students in regards to our clinical rotations. I think we get to do some traveling around Louisiana, and we also are very fortunate in getting to do an autopsy rotation. I think a lot of PAs don't get a super heavy introduction into autopsy or super heavy exposure into autopsy, so we are really lucky in that regard, and I'm really excited. My future goals as a PA, I want to start a PA program at an historically black college or university, because right now minorities only make up about 3% of all PAs worldwide. So advocacy and diversity is huge in my book. Because if people don't know about becoming a pathologist assistant or how much work we do in pathology, then they'll never value pathology as much as it should be valued, with it being, the core of diagnostics. And also, PAs are amazing and we work hard. So I think the more people learn about PAs and the more exposure we give through our Instagram and Sarah's YouTube and just by word of mouth, the more our profession will grow and the better off it'll be. So have a great PA day. This is my first, so yay! Bye!
Hi, my name is Chloe O'Donohue. I'm currently a student in the Pathologist Assistant program at Tulane. I feel really lucky to be here. When I was a senior at Tulane, I really did not know what I wanted to do career-wise. I was enrolled in cadaver lab at the time, and I really enjoyed it. So I was looking for something that would kind of mirror that class. I started doing some research online for different careers, and that's when I found pathologist assistant programs through other schools. And about like a week or so later, I got an email through Tulane that they were starting their own pathologist assistant program. So I went to the information session, and that's when I really started to pursue my path towards becoming a pathologist assistant.
Hey guys, my name is Danny, and I am one of the PA students at Tulane. In honor of PA Day coming up, boop boop, we wanted to share with you a little bit about ourselves. So I wanted to tell you how I got started in pathology. About 7 years ago, I was a college student in need of a job that paid better, that was more enjoyable, and that taught me something, or at least helped me to put in practice some of the stuff that I was doing in college. And I was super lucky and got a job at a laboratory in a hospital in the histology department. I got to work very closely with pathologists and a PA. I had never heard of such thing as a PA, and she was absolutely great. She showed me that you could have a balance between work and life, and it was pretty amazing. She had a family and she loved her job. So I was curious about the profession. After I swapped jobs, I was able to meet a few other PAs, and they always worked as a team, which was pretty surprising because in that position, we had PAs in different hospitals, and if they needed help, they would simply lift up the phone and say, "Hey, please give me a hand. We're super busy today," and they would just send the stuff, and everybody would chip in equally. It is a pretty enjoyable place to be at. The specimens can be super crazy, and the cases are very interesting. So when I heard that Tulane was opening a program, I was very, very much into it, and I was lucky enough to get in. And so far, so good. Except, well, now I don't get to see my new Path family, my Tulane 10 family every day. But we're here supporting each other regardless. And if this is something that you're considering or you would like to learn more about, this is the time to do it. Thank you for watching us, and yeah.
Hey y'all, happy PA Day. My name's Jill. I'm one of the students at the brand new Pathologists Assistant program at the Tulane University School of Medicine, and I'm going to talk about why I chose to become a PA. So basically, long story made very, very short, I was a liberal arts student at Tulane University for my undergrad, and I took one anatomy class in my senior year that I had been wanting to take, and basically this class changed my life forever afterwards. I loved it so much that it became my priority, and after talking to the professor, I learned about what the pathologist assistant profession is, because she is a pathologist assistant. So I learned about the program, I learned about the profession, and I found out that the brand new program, the applications were out. So I kind of took a huge jump of faith, and I changed all of my plans in my senior year. Before that, my life's goal was to become a forensic anthropologist. I was studying anthropology in undergrad, and to be fair, the parts that I was interested in were the biological and physical parts. So when I found out that there was a profession that existed that was even more within the vein of what I wanted to go into and was in the healthcare world, I mean, I am somebody that I've always been very interested in healthcare, and to find a profession that was in healthcare and was exactly what I wanted to do was really a dream come true. So I kind of never looked back, and I applied and I got in. So what do I think is the coolest part of a pathologist assistant's job? I think, and this is going to come as a big surprise to you based off of my passion for my anatomy class, I think the coolest part is the gross examination, or the dissections of any of the specimens that come into the lab. So I think the way that disease changes organs, their morphology, their function, I think it's the coolest thing in the world. I mean, before all of this, I was the person that would be like on social media looking at really gross surgery videos or pro sections or just all of that crazy stuff, and I think I've kind of found my niche here. What I would say is that a pathologist assistant, the profession requires a lot of technical skill and dexterity with very, very sharp blades, so I would not get on a pathologist assistant's bad side. So what are my goals for the future? There's this amazing thing within the profession. It's called a traveling PA, just like there's, traveling nurses, there's traveling PAs. So my hope is that once I get out of school, once I get out of this program, that I will travel for a few years with this job before I end up settling down wherever in the country I choose to settle down. And that's something that I'm really excited about, and I think is a really amazing aspect of this job, that you can travel with it, because I love traveling, and it's something that's been a part of my life for a while. So to be able to incorporate that into a career, really, in my opinion, this career is exactly what I want in life, and that's the goal, right? To be going to work every day and have it not feel like it's work. Why Tulane? Okay, so why did I choose Tulane? Basically, I was very, very, very lucky to be in the position that I was in my senior year, to have taken the class, to have met the people that I did. When I was given a reason to stay in New Orleans, let's just say I was not disappointed in the least. I love this city with all of my heart. I love the culture. I love the people that I've met here. I love how green it is. So I'm from Ohio, and having been down here for 4 years for undergrad was just some of the happiest moments of my life, just because of the sunshine. So to be able to stay in New Orleans and to stay within Tulane University, it was really nice to be able to transition from undergrad to a graduate program in the medical school here. Also very cool to be in a grad program in the medical school here. And also I have absolute faith and trust in the quality of the education that I'm getting. I believe that the professors are some of the very best, and they want the best for us. Pathology and Tulane have a history together. They go way back. We have some really, really great professionals in the pathology department at Tulane Medical, so I think it's a great program in terms of its credentials in that way. And yeah, I'm really happy to be here, really. Yeah, so I guess that's it for me. Happy PA Day, and say thank you to your local PA if you know one. Thanks, bye.
Go!
Hello, hello, hello. My name is Matthew Mims. I'm a part of the first cohort of Pathologists Assistant students here at Tulane University School of Medicine. I'm originally from Louisiana itself, but I'm actually from a very small town named Marion, which is about 2 hours away from New Orleans and about 20-30 minutes away from Baton Rouge itself. Prior to actually being a part of this program, I worked at Pathology Group of Louisiana, which is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I worked as a cytology and grossing tech, which is what actually got me interested into pathology itself. So,
Why do you want to be a PA?
I want to be a PA because I knew that I always wanted to be a part of medicine. My mother is a nurse, and I knew that medicine always was instilled into me, but I knew that pathology itself and being a pathologist assistant more so suited my needs as being in the medical field. I knew that I wanted to work behind the scenes, and I didn't want to technically be a part of the forefront of medicine itself, and I knew that that was something that would be offered for me itself, being in pathology.
Why Tulane?
Tulane itself is in the South. I always knew that I'm born here, I'm raised here, and I probably don't want to leave here. So Tulane itself is the best place for me. I felt like it was the only place that technically fit for me to actually apply and be a part of pathology.
What are you most excited about?
I think the thing that I'm most excited about is the program itself. Since we are the first cohort, we have to represent. We have to know that we are basically the forefathers of Tulane School of Pathology, and we know that we have to be a part of this. We have to always be on our P's and Q's and know that whatever specialty that we choose, being a part of this program, we have to make sure that we set a foundation for everyone that's coming behind us. And I know personally that I'm really interested in autopsy, so I know that autopsy is something that I'm extremely looking forward to.
Do you have a favorite specimen?
My favorite specimen is the lungs. I know that the lungs have a very special place in my heart because it always reminds me of my grandmother. I'm very close with my family, being from the South, you're kind of automatically going to be tight-knit to your family. And my grandmother went through stage 4 lung cancer. And I always knew that anytime that I see that specimen itself, it always reminds me of her.
What are your goals as a PA?
My biggest goal as a PA is to actually just change the face of pathologist assistants as a whole. I know that I always want to be the best PA that I can be, but I also know that I want to work with other pathologist assistants that are coming out of school around the same time or before me to see exactly how I can navigate and be a better PA myself.
That's it.
Hey, my name's Dakota Bevins, and I'm currently a first-year student at the Tulane University College, and I am the inaugural class of the Pathologists Assistant program. And what led me here is that, well, I can start from the beginning, is that back in high school, I was fortunate enough to be in a summer program where I was able to work with the local hospital, and being a student intern, they gave us tours of all the departments within the hospital. And then one day we entered the pathology lab, and I instantly fell in love with this place. I was like, this is so cool how they were cutting tissue really thin, how you can see the actual specimens of humans. And I was totally blown away about this whole department. I had no idea it existed, and I was completely fascinated. And from that point on, I just wanted to be a pathologist or work in a pathology department, and I found out that being a pathologist assistant was the right thing for me. My future goal of being a pathologist assistant is that I want to be able to participate in the diagnostic process. And I like the whole idea of being behind the scene and working with these specimens and then working with other doctors in primary care and finding the cure or the cause of disease for a patient and potentially helping them. I just think it's the coolest thing ever. What I've learned so far in this program has been really cool because I had no idea about the foundation of the pathologist assistant history, because there's not a lot of it online, and learning about how pathology first became known in the medical field and how hard it was and how difficult it was to be established as a serious practice, and then leading up to today where it's almost impossible to work in medicine and not have some kind of interaction with pathology or the pathology department in finding the cause of disease and helping patients recover and finding ways of treatment. I chose Tulane because ultimately Sarah and Natalie were the two that made me solidify my decision. Instantly loved the energy that I got from them and their outlook on the program and what they wanted to do. And it was just without a doubt, I was like, this is where I want to be. I feel like I'm going to thrive in this program. I love their outlook. I love the goals that they had, and it was a no-brainer for me. My favorite specimen, I don't quite know my favorite specimen yet. The coolest specimen I've seen so far has been probably a Meckel because of how rare they are, and I was fortunate enough to see one when I was shadowing before the program. So I think by far that's my favorite specimen, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to see a lot cooler stuff in my career path. And one of the biggest things that we're learning in this program is that how are we going to promote this program? And the biggest thing I've noticed is when my friends and family ask me about what I'm doing and I tell them pathologist assistant, they're like, what is that? And I just love explaining to them what we do, how important it is for healthcare, how they're always in the hospital but no one knows where they are and what the department does. And then once they know what we do, they're extremely fascinated by it. I have not met a person who's asked me about it. And as a result, we're like, oh, that's kind of cool, I guess. They were like, that's super fascinating and that's really cool. And so that's what makes me really happy when I tell people what pathologists and pathologist assistants, what they do. Hopefully, given the circumstances we're going through right now, we can pick up with our classes and continue the program, because I'm having even though it's very hard and challenging, I'm having a great time doing it and I'm learning a lot. And hopefully you'll see us in another update. See ya.